All right. Well, today I wanted to talk about a very recent story that happened to me that shows that the initial spark or chemistry a woman feels with you is based mostly on looks. I'd say 90 to 95%. So I'm also going to show a few other examples of how the spark is based on how attracted a woman is to you with text examples, so you'll definitely want to stay until the end. Recently, I went on a trip. My flight back home got canceled, so I was waiting in the airport until the airline would give me a hotel voucher for the night. I was sitting in a common area where there were different couches around each other. I wanted to see if I could rent a car and drive home and see what the price would be, as it was only a few states away. So I called the rental place, and they just gave me an outrageous number, even to drive a few states away. After I got off the phone, this blonde woman says to me, "You should try calling U-Haul." So obviously I didn't want to drive into U-Haul, so I jokingly said that I don't like U-Hauls. We then started talking about our flights being canceled. I could kind of tell right away by her facial expressions and body language that she was into me. We then started talking about things like career, where we grew up, and I actually ended up, as we were talking, ended up moving to sit with her on the couch she was sitting on. Objectively speaking, this woman was attractive. She was petite, 5'1". She had blonde hair, really bright blue eyes, high cheekbones. She wasn't perfect facially, but still objectively very much above average looking. So I then left to head back over to the airline reps to see when the hotel voucher would get there. I got her number before I did that, and then 5 minutes later, as I was waiting, she texted me asking me how it was going. So I knew based off of then that, it really confirmed that she was into me. So once I was able to get the hotel voucher for the night, I came back over and said bye, and she gave me a very, very long hug. She hugged me really tight and ended up being like, I don't know, probably like 20-second hug, like a ridiculously long hug. So I had asked her, "What made you say something to me initially? Be honest." And she responded with, "I honestly don't know. It was just something in me that just said what I said." So I'd asked, "Did you feel a spark right away? Or was it not until we were sitting together on your couch?" The reason I asked this is because, kind of experimental, but our couches were about maybe 5 to 7 feet away. So, I wanted to see if she was attracted to me instantly or whether it was until I got closer up where she could really see my facial features and kind of see everything up close. So she replied with, "Yeah, I felt it pretty quick. How about you?" I said I felt it pretty much right away, instantly. She said, "Isn't that something?" I said, your eyes were captivating." She was like, "It was just meant to be." So then she said, once our eyes locked, that was it for me. And then I said back, "I'm glad I was wearing those bracelets." She had complimented me on two bracelets that I was wearing. I was wearing like a black beaded bracelet and like a whiter beaded bracelet with like a design on it. So that's why I said that. And then she comes back with, "It wasn't just the bracelets. Like literally once our eyes met, it was it." And then I came back with, "What about me? Do you think it did for you when we locked eyes?" Then she replied, "Then when I touched your hand, it was like electric. Yeah, after that, I didn't want to be away from you. I fell in love with you the moment our eyes met. I knew you weren't sketch with your bracelets and voice." So I come back with, "Yeah, touching your hand felt amazing." You can't make this up, guys. This is like the pure reason why, the spark or chemistry that's felt, it's looks, almost 100%. So then I wrote, "Exactly, I kept wanting to come back and see you. Can do what?" Then she wrote, "Me too. I was hoping you wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. Make everything happen exactly like it did." I said, "Yeah, I had to come say goodbye." She then said, "And hug me," with a heart. I then said, "That hug was amazing. Didn't want it to end." And then she replied back, "I wanted you to just pick me up." So I replied back, I would have carried you back to the hotel." And then she came back with, "I probably would have came with you." So she had wrote, "I thought you'd think I was crazy for telling you I fell in love with you in the airport. Are you having lots of fun?" I said, "You should have told me while I was at the airport. Yes, it's been fun." She said, "I think you knew it." I didn't actually.
She wrote, I wasn't obvious by my eyes. I couldn't stop thinking of you when you left. So she texts me, what kind of music do you listen to? And then she sends another text. I just told one of my oldest friends how we fell in love at the airport. I replied back. And then she's like, oh, I said I'm serious. There was something different when we looked at each other. I told her that you're my boyfriend. I replied back, oh, is she going to be your maid of honor at the wedding? She said, babe, we're having a small wedding. So then she texted me, how's that bar having girls hitting on you? I told her I was going out to like a local bar in the area with a buddy. And then she says, your girlfriend gets jealous. And then she mentioned, no girls better be messing with my man.
This is what's so funny. When a girl's really attracted to you, she assumes every other woman out there is also attracted to you. It's always interesting how that works, because I can tell you when I was super overweight and, had a shaved head, I would have never gotten this experience from her.
So then she jokes around saying, I know I joke around, but when it comes to you and how I feel about you, or how I feel like we connected on a deeper level the night we met, is all real to me. I wrote back, yes, it's all real to me as well. We definitely have a very special connection. Then she wrote back, I'm glad that we feel the same way about each other. Then she wrote later on, so I was just on the phone with my OM, I think mom, and I told her all about you. And of course, I told her all about the other reach. She said she's really happy that we met.
So honestly, if this isn't definitive proof that chemistry or the spark is pretty much all about looks, I don't know what is. I mean, it's funny because we did connect, like we did get along pretty well. We were talking about, family, college, where we went to college, work, things like that. Like the conversation definitely flowed and there was attraction there between us. But it's just crazy how like what one woman, can find you really attractive and they, feel some type of way, or they feel some type of connection with you. And they think that you connected on such a deeper level when really you were just talking about like very surface level stuff. But just wanted to, highlight this as another example of, why chemistry and the spark that women feel for you, it's based on looks. Don't let anyone tell you it's not.
So now I wanted to show a few examples of when women did feel the spark
and then didn't feel the spark initially right after a date with them.
So this was a date that I went on about a year ago. And she said, just got home. Thank you so much for a wonderful night. I had an amazing time, as well as felt such a connection with you. This was a date that I went on with a Ukrainian girl about a year and a half ago. So I'd ask her, what was your first impression of me? She said, when I just met you, I really liked that you tall and pretty handsome guy. It is when I just saw you and then we started talking. I liked your energy quite a lot. So classic. So yeah, moral of the story, if a woman likes you, she finds you physically attractive, she's going to feel a spark. I think it's 90% to do with your looks, maybe about 5% to do with your voice, and maybe 5% to do with, your actual personality. But vast majority of the time, it's purely looks, especially in the first date. And now I'm showing some texts of dates where women didn't feel a connection with me. They didn't feel that spark, didn't feel that, that instant connection. They didn't fall in love with me at first sight. Because as you can see here, this girl Cassie was saying, honestly, I thought so too. And we really connected over moving out west, enjoying being outdoors, but I felt like the connection started and ended there. I felt like otherwise we didn't have much else in common. Plus I was uncomfortable with some of the touching. For me, with what I went through previously, I'm seeking something that moves much slower.
When she mentions that, it's just all I'm doing. We were sitting at the bar and I was, lightly touching her arm.
And for context, this text was 4 years ago when I wasn't as lean as I am now. I think back then I was around 20% body fat. And as you can see, she says, no need to apologize. At the end of the day, for me, I'm trusting my gut, and I really wasn't feeling any connection, so I apologize, but I don't have interest in pursuing this any further. I do wish you all the best. I have confidence you'll find what you're looking for.
When a woman says something like that, basically what she's saying is she doesn't find you physically attractive, and there is no confidence. There is no confidence that
they think you're going to find what you're looking for. That's just, it's kind of like a nice way to soften the blow of them physically not finding you attractive. And that's really all there is to it. For context, this is a girl that I went out with about a year ago as well, when I was in Las Vegas. She was definitely more attractive than me. I would say she was about an 8.5 on the scale, looks wise. And as you can see, she says, "Hey, sorry I was hiking earlier. I just wanted to say that I had a great time meeting you, but I think we should probably just be friends." I then say, "Hi, Brooke. Thanks for letting me know. Any reason in particular?" I asked because I thought we had a pretty good connection. This is a girl that, we had kissed on our date. So it was just really interesting. And then she said, "You're awesome. Just chemistry for me wasn't really there."
And this is to be expected. If you go out on a date with someone that's more physically attractive than you, this is going to happen. It's going to happen most of the time. And there's really not much you can do about it except for continue to look smacks and continue to improve yourself. And well, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed these stories, these text examples, feel free to give it a like. Feel free to comment down below your experience with the spark or feeling chemistry. And feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care.